Good morning to you all. I hope you're all well out there. Today's reading is going to be what doors are opening up for you soon, because I think everybody could do a little bit of a shove, a little bit of good news. So you have got three choices. You've got the Queen of Hearts for number 1, you've got the Queen of Clubs for number 2, and you've got the Eight of Clubs for number 3. So if you want to take your choice, and we'll see what's coming towards you.
La música de Harry Frog.
Okay, this has got, I'm just going to start talking here. There's a feeling here of I'm looking at what doors are opening up for you soon. And to me, the door that's opening up for you is basically you're slamming one behind you. To me, it feels like you're moving forward. The reason I'm saying that is you're coming across as a mother of air. So to me, it feels like the door has got something to do with how you perceive situations, where you feel that you fit into a situation, or in this with this feeling here, how you feel that you don't fit into a situation. You've got the Chiron and you've got the Chiron. That's not just Chiron, it's the Chiron, and the Six of Air down here. And the Six of Air is again moving. It's like a boat, it's moving, and it reminds me of, is it the River of Styx with the ferryman? It feels like, and we probably are the River of Styx down here. You know, we're moving in this world almost blindfolded most of the time. You know, even if we think that we feel where we know where we are, when we're stuck in situations and we all become heightened and the relationships are all over the place, or even if they're exciting, we still get lost and we blindfold ourselves. This Chiron here is the bridge between the two worlds that tries to open up your eyes, takes the blindfold off when we're on our journey down here. So to me, this has got a very sort of mental healing feeling. A mental healing feeling, and I don't mean mental, I mean as in unbalanced, but more a case of you using your mind to understand where you are. So I'm looking at this, and I know this isn't a door opening yet, and I'm well aware of that, but let me just keep going and see how the cards unpeel, then I'll try and put more into it. So the energy coming in to me, once again, you've got the Hermit here. So to me, it's something to do with how you perceive situations, how you use this information to be aware of where you think you should be in this world with regards to how long your journey really is. You know, as you know, this is a journey, isn't it? And what feelings that feel as if they're imposing, or things that need to be done immediately, don't really need to be done immediately. You know, we're here probably for a long journey. Unfortunately or fortunately, we're here for a long time, and everything can be worked out in its own time with the Hermit card here. There's something, I think, with regards to energy that's coming in. Doesn't feel like a decision, but I wonder if something's pressing on you at the moment that you feel that you need to rush, because you've got here the Hermit card, which is reflection, and you've got that between the Eight of Wands and the Four of Cups. One's like, forget it, I don't want it, and the other one's, it's quick, it's coming to me, I've got to decide, I've got to understand it, I need to make a movement. And this, to me, because you've got the 7th house up here, you've got a healing, has the healing card, the Chiron card, is a healing feeling that it's got something to do with relationships. It's got something to do with either leaving something and moving forward. So I'm getting a feeling here, the door that's opening to you has got something to do with confidence, has got something to do with you leaving something that doesn't feel right for you anymore, and the choice is yours. The choice is yours. A lot of the times, I won't go into that. I was going to talk about something else, but I won't go into that. Okay, so how are you going to get to this door? It has a feeling of starting small. It has a feeling of strong boundaries, and it has a feeling of using all those things that you already have in your wicker basket, in your, you know, your sort of little box of fantastic tools that you may have forgot to use for a while. So I'm thinking healing, and then you've got the Magician card down here. So there's something that you had perhaps when you were younger, perhaps at some moment in your life that served you really well, whether it was a sense of independence, whether it was a ability to shrug your shoulders, or whether it was an easy way of moving forward, as in just like cutting off and saying, well, that's it, I've had enough, I can see that it's ended. And then you've got here, the outcome is leaving something behind. So that's what I said at the beginning, that there's something in your life, and I will sum this up, there's something in your life that you need to shut the door of before another one opens, to me. So what door is opening for you soon has got something to do with you basically have to open it to let things in. I'm going to put some more cards out for this one, because this whole reading here is shutting the door rather than opening one. So you're not going to get out of this reading what you think you're looking for. Maybe not, but I will add more onto this here. So let's just start looking at what you've got so far and trying to summarise it or put it all together. You're coming across as somebody who's got the mental ability to play around with situations in your head. You understand situations, you know what's going on, you know how situations have led up to, or the backdrop has led up to the situation that you're in. There's a feeling of being with the Chiron card here, quite wise at playing the game of life in some way. But with the Six of Air here, it's like you're moving away from something that you've outgrown that probably was quite painful, you felt didn't serve you in some way. And most of the time we spend our lives hitting our heads against brick walls until somebody says, have you had... Just imagine if somebody was dead, or somebody who really loved you wasn't with you anymore, and they were whispering to you. They'd be whispering, haven't you had enough yet? Haven't you had enough yet? And you keep trying to get back into the same situation. You know, when this would be, I think you're the Chiron person here, so you're whispering it to yourself. And it's more a case of, don't you think it is time to move on? And what's going to happen is you're going to get this situation that opens up, I think, that you're almost sensing is coming towards you, and you don't know whether to take it. I'll give you an example here. I was, I don't know, in my 20s, and at home in a not having a very good winter. You know, it was just like arguing with boyfriends, bits up, nothing was happening, and I knew it's got to that banging your head against a brick wall feeling. I knew it, and it couldn't have been any more obvious. And then I got an invitation from my brother, who was going to, this is Jupiter on your MC, who was going to fly me over to Australia. His boss was going to pay to fly me over to Australia because he was over there, which I did eventually do, but I didn't want to go. It's this feeling here. Why did I not want to go? I mean, that to me is the most exciting thing. It's the type of thing I dream about. It feels like some news is going to come in, and you almost want to stay in the mental, what's the words? In the mindset that you're already in, because you've got used to it. So you won't know what to do, and the decision will have to be made. And this may have got something to do with a relationship that you know deep down that you may need to move on from. And then what will happen is you'll almost have to put some boundaries around you and make that little step towards this. What is the thing? What's the bravest decision you could make here? And then it's like the door is slightly opening and there's a little light coming through. And then just as you make one small step, the door opens a little bit more, and it starts almost illuminating where you should be, because this feels as if you've locked yourself in with your mind processes. Is that right? Yeah. And then you start remembering who you used to be. So this is a really nice spread of situations we all get into at times. It's not really showing me where you're going yet, but it's showing me how to get there. And the Magician card down here has all those things that you did really well naturally. And I often talk about play, and I often talk about kids, and because when we were young, and before we started trying to impress ourselves and others and playing the game so we didn't get lost or beaten, what did you do naturally? You know, what was the first thing you would do? What made you feel alive? How did you react to situations? Were you somebody that spoke up, or were you somebody that needed time to yourself till you made a decision? You know, just follow those things that you did naturally, because there's something about your natural abilities that you've already got your tool bag tied around your waist. And this may lead on to, onto another relationship or a house move or another job, or it doesn't really matter, but you're moving away from things you've outgrown without doubt in this pile here. So you do need more with this, because this is not showing me what door is opening up soon. So let me just see if I can get... Let me just stretch my arm over my candles and burn my jumper like I normally do. Okay, this could have many interpretations here. I could tell you, and I always think it's best, it isn't always, but I think it is for me to go with your first thoughts. So I'm going to say them, and I know these will be precise, as in like they may just fit one person, if anybody. There's a feeling here if you're in a situation, only because the lady's all curled up and you've got the Three of Pentacles, to me it felt like counselling and abuse. So if you're in a situation, it doesn't have to be just domestic abuse, which was the first thing that came to my mind, but if you're in a situation at work where your boss is picking on you, or it just feels as if it's the wrong thing, to me this said this door is good. To me it feels like this door could open up with some help. If you actually reached out and asked somebody, as I said, like counselling, or it could even be bereavement counselling with relationships there. But it's something to do with the 7th house, whether it's business partnerships, whether it's love relationships, or it's just people around you. It's somebody or some group situation possibly that you've outgrown, and you may actually need, with the Justice card and the Three of Pentacles, some help to almost get yourself out of your mindset. And there's a feeling here with your Chiron card here that you're really good at helping other people, but when it comes to yourself, you sometimes find it difficult. There's a feeling with Chiron as well, there often feels like a lack of self-worth with Chiron. As in, you're so busy healing other people and so busy, that you almost don't think that you're worthy. And this has got a feeling that you are worthy. Well, that feeling is there anyway, but this has got a feeling that you have to take the steps to find out and to feel how worthy you really are. And there's a strong feeling here with regards to love relationships that the door that's going to open up, it's almost like there's different feels here. It's almost like because of the Justice card with a balance between the head and the heart, it feels like there's forgiveness for something that's happened, but you're still cut off with these boundary cards down here. It's like, yeah, okay, perhaps you didn't play it straight, I didn't play it straight. It doesn't have to be a love relationship, but it's a case of it's not for me anymore. And that's what I meant about with the Chiron feeling and the River of Styx and these choices here that it's difficult to make, but you do feel at times that you're banging your head against a brick wall or against a door. And every time you bang your head, it almost like creaks a little bit and opens a little bit until you think, why didn't I do that earlier? So to me, this reading is going in a direction of what's opening up for you soon. It feels like peace. It feels like peace. It feels like being in a group or talking to somebody who sorts you out in a way and makes you see that there's more than you've actually consciously felt inside yourself is possible, if that makes sense. No, I'm not allowed to say that makes sense. Me and my sister says, no saying that makes sense. This is a really strong healing pile. This is leaving something behind, and this is finding a new route, a new way that opens up slowly but feels like the sun's coming out. Right, I'm going to leave that there, I think, pile number 1. It feels beautiful, and I don't think I've really expressed it well, because to me it feels like it's like you're in a house, and I'll put it into some sort of picture before I leave you. You're in a house and, oh my God, has anybody seen the horror film My House? With 2 people that escape from Africa, I think. And it is a horror film, and all these, it's almost like PTSD. I won't tell you the whole story, from their escape route out and what happened. And the lady has got the most mesmeric, is that a word, face, a beautiful woman. and I just end up the whole film watching her. But it's almost like in that house that they are in, without giving you the whole story because it is worth watching, every chironic and every healing situation that they've been in their life is almost put into one house. And this to me feels like that house is an analogy for inside yourself, of course. It feels like you've banging at the door to get out and you don't even know you're doing it. It's almost like you're doing it in your sleep, which is part of the film as well. And then you just start seeing the light starts seeping in. Then you don't want to leave the house because it feels comfortable. And the door that's actually opening for you is basically stepping outside of that house, your mind, and then making small steps into the fresh air, into this new world, and turning your back on something. And that will, possibly people may come around you as you get out of the house, as you poke your head out to help you pull you out a bit further. And it's small steps, and then you start, it feels like you could start with the Magician card here and the way this moves. It's like you set your own boundaries a little bit stronger, and you realise the further you step out of that house that you weren't getting anything from it at all, and then you start remembering who you really are. So this has got a really strong healing feel to it. And what's coming towards you is a new life, new possibilities, strength in yourself, and choosing situations that let you remember who you are, which I know is vague, but it's really difficult to say. I mean, to be a little bit more precise, I was thinking like domestic abuse down here, and I was thinking of possible counselling with some issues that you may have felt that you've taken on this journey for that little bit too long because you're so busy looking out for other people that you forgot to heal yourself. And what do we do when we're not healed inside ourselves? We find people who are equally as broken as us. Yeah, we do. That's what we do, don't we? Because it's all, it's a healing process for everybody. And including this person that, if you do find counselling or you do find somebody who's going to heal you, it's the same for them. And that's life. Anyway, pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to switch off. Yeah, I hope everything works out for you if this does ring true. Yeah, good luck. If you fancy a personal reading, please check out my website, which is, I don't know how to say my own name, HULUPPU, I'm going to say it like that, .co.uk. Bye. Okay, this has got a feeling of have your cake and eat it. So you've got a big piece of cake coming in. This has also got a feeling of possibility of a relationship, and there's also a possibility that there's a feeling here that you may already be in a relationship, because it's one of these relationships where it almost takes you off your feet and it feels really exciting. But you've got the 4th house here, and you've also got the 7 of Swords. So I'm thinking, is that going to be a backdoor man sort of relationship? And you've got decisions to be made. Let me go through it one by one. This may change. So what door is opening for you in the near future? You've got Jupiter card here. So to me, that feels like luck and expansion and fun and pushing things to the limits. You've got the Lovers card signifying you. So I'm immediately thinking, fantastic, indulgent love relationships, and then you've got cards here that are like new beginnings. And the 6 of Wands to me, especially with the Lovers card, always talks to me of big attraction. That sort of gleaming look in somebody's eye when they see something that they like. And it feels like it's fun. I was watching a film last night and I've forgotten what it was. I was half watching it. It's got Melinda McCarthy, is it? The lady, anyway, it was like a spy thriller. It was really silly. And I quite like a bit silly at the end. I sort of gave up. But and there was an Italian man in a car who was really English trying to be Italian, but he was so over the top, as in like whistling at everything. And this is what it feels like. When something's so over the top and the attraction is so big that it almost feels comical. in a nice way, because that Jupiter there, and Jupiter, you find Jupiter is extremely strong and Sagittarius extremely strong in comedians. And so you've got this feeling here, there's something fun and exciting about this meeting or this connection, but there's also a feeling here you may already know this person. You've got the fourth house, and the fourth house to me I keep thinking is the icy and endings, and you've got the World card here. So, which to me again is endings. I'm thinking here that the door that may be opening to you could have lots of possibilities. You could be moving from one situation to the next, and in that happening, you could be moving abroad. You could be moving to college with a Jupiter card there. You could be moving to university or a new work situation. It's things opening up, can be to do with education, can be to do with travelling. And you've got the fourth house of ending of homes, but you've got the Lovers card here. So there's a strange feeling here, which isn't strange at all, of ending one thing, making a big move inside your life maybe, or if you've got a past relationship, it would be moving away from a relationship that you feel at the moment is steady, but you're outgrowing it possibly, and somebody comes in and whisks you off your feet. It's got Fun Time Bobby written all over this. Do you remember Friends with Fun Time Bobby? Oh my gosh. I had a friend that she was very, very, very proper, very Virgo, very, very attractive husband who didn't like her to drink. And she got so drunk that I thought it was the funniest thing ever and probably encouraged her until she was like falling down these steps in this party that was in like an attic. And her husband was not too pleased. And I can remember just calling her Fun Time Bobby all the way home in the taxi. This is what this feels like. It does feel like Jupiter is almost like losing yourself in something else, but it's like time to move, because it feels like that there's one door shut behind you and then you're almost opening up. And when you go abroad and you go to somewhere like Greece or somewhere really hot and it's like in the middle of the summer and they've got the air conditioning on the plane and you open the door, it feels like a rush of heat comes in. And it feels as if you're entering a time in your life, I don't know, I'm making this up with regards to next month, next 6 months, I don't know, where it feels like you're stepping out of a plane into the summer and the heat and the excitement. There's sort of heady feeling when you're dancing, and mucking around until 5 or 6 in the morning, and you're, just that excitement feeling of the Jupiter card there, and leaving behind things and this house, this fourth house is blue as well, and I'm looking at Jupiter that feels like summertime abroad, and then you've got here the fourth house which is blue and ending something. So there could be travel, but to me it feels, regardless of the door that's being open, is bringing towards you fun and excitement, different scenarios, different people that expand you in some way with the Jupiter card there. But to me, it feels very strongly like it's a relationship, but it could be intertwined with a job situation too. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, or a change of, like a college situation. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, and this is how it's going to come in. It's like a new opportunity, and you've got this hubba card here of the Six of Wands. That's like something new, something fertile, things starting moving, and attraction, almost like overwhelming attraction, but it also feels like there's a feeling here that you may actually, in carrying on this lifestyle, feel that you're doing the dirty, because oftentimes it takes that transition from moving from a situation, even if the situation is dead, or a bit of guilt almost having to run its course and adjust itself to this new atmosphere, or this new, it feels quite warm and welcoming, this new beginning. What funny creatures we are, aren't we? Sometimes we get so hemmed into where we feel that we should be that we actually find comfort in things which aren't really that stimulating, and we become very sort of steady. You find signs not so much, they tend to push and don't look back. This has got a feeling that something happens in your life, the door opens and there's a rush of something that pulls you with it. And I'm thinking of chocolate work when the film starts with the girl and the mum moving with something like the west wind took them somewhere. This feels like something comes and takes you somewhere into a different world. So that's what I'm thinking, new opportunities. Anyway, what you need to do to help yourself along is to, oh my gosh, there's a feeling here that this could be, if you've got a relationship already that's almost on the sidelines, it feels like there may be an opportunity for this relationship to move forward. But there's also a feeling here that what this feels like, and I'm trying to be more exact with what I'm saying here, just in case it hits home with somebody. There's a feeling here, if you're attracted to somebody but you're already in a relationship, that this relationship starts moving. And that person is the west wind that stimulates you a little bit too much. There's a feeling here of it being heavy because there's always that guilt feeling here and having to take what feels like the fourth house and the seven of swords here a different way that may have some guilt, I don't know, amalgamated in there somewhere. And then the magician card here again with this card here is, you know how to move this forward because you may have known this person for a long time. And it's going to end up in some sort of decision where you've got to make a choice. And that's a choice to leave something that feels unfulfilling behind you, moving on to something that feels like you can be more of yourself. This has definitely got, and the first reading was just mainly a door shutting and not really knowing. It's like little bits of light seeping in. This is a shutting one door and opening another door into a fresh new world that feels as if it's got more opportunities and more chance to be yourself, more chance to start things that are going to tumble back in years to come and almost like flourish in some way with these cards here. It feels like a good chance for somebody to actually, or to be recognised for how attractive you are. And it feels good. And it feels, to me, this feels like an affair. It doesn't have to be, you may not be with somebody already, but that's what it feels like because you've got these cards here of home, which I've said before, and then you've got the Jupiter card, and Jupiter is known for its excess. Hey. And then at the end, you've got here the Two of Air, which is a decision to make, which is not going to be easy. And then you're playing up between moving forward and feeling good and opening the door yourself and letting that, that heat come into your life and leaving something behind. Because you've got stops and starts in this one. So to sum this up, pile number 2, what doors are opening for you very soon? You've got some hot air coming towards you and it feels exciting. I think it's got to be in the realm of relationships. I think it's ending something, and it could be just a home life that doesn't serve you anymore. If you haven't got a partner, it feels like it's time to move on from a stayed part inside yourself that just doesn't really do you any justice. It's fresh new beginnings, it's new opportunities, new people rushing in and allowing you to be more of yourself, allowing you to be spontaneous and wild and a little bit more outreaching than you may have been over the last couple of years, which is probably the same for everybody. There's a feeling here there's guilt involved in this, which is often the case when you're moving one situation, go on to the next, and that's where you're going to almost balk against opening that door totally. But to me, it feels like regardless, you just have to open it a little bit to let this energy in. And then the rest, as I said, that west wind will open the rest for you. This is like a new life, a new situation. And feeling good about yourself. This is like somebody who starts taking interest in the way that they look, if you haven't for a long time. Some interest in the way that they look and buying clothes again. And, everything just perks up. It's like pinky and perky, this one. So I'm going to finish there. So what doors are opening up for you soon? To me, it feels like romance. To me, it feels like possibly an affair. I must say that because that is in there for me. If you have somebody from the past who you already have your eye on, it's possibly that they may come back in. But it feels like expansion to me. It feels like warmth. It feels like summer. It feels like riding a magic carpet to the top of a hill, rather than slipping down into the mud that you may have feel like you've trudged through over the last 2 or 3 years. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with your magic carpet pile number 2. Good luck with that. If you fancy a private reading, please check out my website, which is huluppu.co.uk. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to start talking pile number 3. There's feelings here which I will go through the cards, they may change, but immediately if you're thinking of moving house, if you're thinking of moving flat, or you're thinking of putting a deposit down, that may possibly be the door that's opening for you. There's also a possibility here of travel. There's a possibility of traveling abroad, and there's still this possibility, a very strong possibility of improving your finances, and that to me feels like a building. There's something else that I'm thinking of before I start, and then I will go through the cards and see how they unfold. That if you've been outside a friendship group, or your social life has been a little bit down the dumps lately, it feels that that may improve, and that may improve in very simple terms, like a trip abroad, because you've got the World card at the end here. Let me go through the cards with you, and then we'll see what comes out. You've got here initially the Mercury card, and you're coming out as a 5 of Earth. So this lady is walking down the streets dressed in what looks like something from June. Oh, what a fantastic film. Oh my gosh. They all look like they're dressed in All Saints clothes, which is one of my favourite shops. And they look magnificent, and the scenery, it's like Lawrence of Arabia all over again. And with bits of like, I don't know, what is it? I don't know what the language is, but it's just like something out of the Bible. To me, it's got everything all pushed into one fantastic film. I don't even care what's going on. I just want to watch it. So anyway, back to this Earth. 5 of Earth here has got a feeling of being shut out, but being shut out because these cards are quite practical, maybe not enough finances. Mercury card I'm not quite sure about yet. That may have something to do with the 11th house, which I'm thinking about communication with friends. So there's different possibilities in this. And what you're going to be moving on to, what door's going to be opening up, is the Son of Fire. To me, that feels like fun. The Son of Fire is childlike. This little boy here has got a water pistol, and he's ready to do something. He's got fantastic flip-flops. He's ready to do something here. So you're moving on from feeling like you're shut out to having that little bit of fire, that little bit of cheekiness, that little bit of naughtiness back in, well, a skip in your step really, I suppose. And that must have got something to do with the way that you communicate. You may be somebody who has got quite a fast mouth, or that you're very good at quipping, or I'm going to say limericks then, but that may be part of it. And I'm thinking, who's that lady out of The Crown? I've forgotten her name, Margaret, isn't it? She was very good at limericks. It has that feeling that you like to play with people, but you haven't done that for a while. And this may be where the friends bit and being included with friends may be part of it. And that may be part of just being shut out of life the last couple of years and it all beginning to open up, which would be a door opening up. Now, what energy is coming in has got something to do with taking a leap, but feels like it's this is ridiculously hard to interpret. You've got the Fool card there, which doesn't really give, I'm going to say, a damn about anything. This is the type of energy that if they were going to open a door, they would open it and step in without thinking twice, and they wouldn't bother packing a bag. And that old film, is it Leap Year, where she tests her fiance of what would happen. She has like a bit of a crush on this Irish, good film in a silly way, this Irish guy, and they say, what would you take with you if the fire alarms went off? And she's sitting watching her fiance trying to get cramming in his laptop and stuff in his bag, and she's just thinking, hey, that's you all over. Hey, that's you all over. This has got this feeling that you wouldn't cram your laptop in, but this half has somebody cramming a laptop in. So to me, there's some sort of discrepancy here between energy that's coming in that is wild, but you possibly could be fighting it. Or it could have something to do with, as I said earlier, with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, of doing something wild, but it's still financially stable, like moving abroad or buying a new house or putting a deposit down on a flat, that type of feeling. So you've got lots of different feelings here. at the moment, the two main ones I'm thinking of is like friendship groups or movement with regards to finances and property. And yet the 11th house could even be, you could get the house of your dreams here. And Mercury is like communication. If you've got your eyes set on something, like a particular building or a particular house or a particular area, and you think, well, actually, that's a bit of a pipe dream, there may be something that opens up. And I have got a most fantastic story here. Can't remember it exactly, but it's not a porcupine. It's a story of a person that I don't know what happened. I have told this story years and years ago when I first started. It's about a year and a half ago. Who there's these houses by my mother-in-law's that are really, really nice big posh houses. I don't know how much they're worth, but they're really nice big houses that you'd like to live in. I'd like to live in. And this person bought it for something like £30,000 because of something that happened with regards to the person. It was repossessed or something. I don't know the story because I can't remember it. And it was almost like too good to be true. So this could be some communication coming through. If you've got your eyes set on something that's solid with a Four of Wands, got something to do with finances, it's almost like that starts moving towards you. And somebody gets in touch with you to tell you that. And so this, it feels like excitement again. So let me see. It feels like luck. It feels like luck, and it feels, because you've got two fiery cards, it feels like luck, and you almost start, getting back into the idea that you can actually have what is termed as luck in your life, because I think a lot of people are feeling at the moment like they're just making do, aren't they? Which is really difficult to say, and I had to sort of like pull that back because so many people at the moment are, properly struggling in the world. And it could end up with travel or move abroad, or definitely some ending. Okay, so let me start summing this up, pile number 3. What door is opening up for you soon? This door that's opening up for you is like a concoction of a financial agreement, something solid, something concrete, something where you maybe a place that you can call your own that you think is totally out of your reach. It feels like there's going to be some sort of communication, whether it's a letter, whether it's an email, or whether it's somebody calling you up and saying, that thing you've got your eye on that you really want, it's going to actually, there's an opportunity for it to be yours, or for things to start opening up. And because you're starting off with the 5 of Earth here, and then you've got the 4 of Wands here, to me, I keep thinking, and you've got buildings here, to me it feels like a building. And I'm wondering whether it's a job opportunity, but no, I don't think it is a job opportunity. It's almost like too good to be true. There's another feeling here with Mercury and the Sun of Fire here looking like naughty, that Mercury could be, it may need you to actually reach out and do something cheeky. If you've got your eye on something, maybe it's a trip abroad, or you're trying to book a house abroad with the World and the 4 of Wands here. Like a house exchange, or something that feels like it's not normally the way that you normally do things, and you just basically poke your little nose out and a bit, what you would consider a little bit rude. It might actually, with the full energy here in the Sun of Fire and the Mercury, it might actually lead to something. And if you've got a friend as well, let's just say somebody who's got a house abroad, you can't afford to travel because there's lots of financial cards here. You feel as if you're shut out of something, there's no possibility. This feels like something could open it. That door could open up, but it's something that you can't actually perceive very well. And I'll give you another example of this. A story I once heard, I don't know if it's true, of somebody that couldn't afford to travel, spoke to Virgin or British Airways, I don't know what it was, and said, look, I take photographs, I'm a photographer, I can't afford to travel, would you sponsor me, can I use your flights for free, and you can use my photos in your brochures, which they said yes, because it's not much skin off the nose of some, a big company. This has got this feeling to it because you've got the Wheel of Fortune down here. You've got a wish come true card here. You've got something concrete happening. You've got wildness coming in here, and you've got you feeling shut out but using a bit of what I would say sparkle or cheekiness here. And you leave a situation, there could be travel. There could be travel, but it's definitely leaving one thing going on to the next. And that could be, it's opportunities, to be honest. The door that's opening up for you has got something to do with exciting opportunities. You actually being a little bit cheeky possibly to get there. Maybe involved with friends. You know, you could be moving somewhere. I don't know whether it's a holiday abroad, whether it's buying a new house, or whether it's actually just pushing out your, just being a bit pushy, to be honest. But a situation you feel with these cards here that you can't get into is worth actually, it's like you, this door that's opening, it's like creak it open a little bit, stick your head out and say something cheeky. Push it a little bit. Not the fact that it's rude, but yeah, be a little bit rude. You know, it's one of these feelings here like you don't know if you don't ask. And I always think, well, no, that's really rude. Don't don't make somebody feel uncomfortable. This one does actually feel like that. You don't know unless you ask. And that is almost like rolling out a red carpet. Can you imagine a carpet's all rolled up? It's like the moment that you ask, it flicks out the carpet and your whole, well, not your whole life, but the whole year or 6 months ahead of you starts to look, change totally, and you can see where you're going. This is exciting. And I'm not allowed to say that because people text right underneath in the comments, that is not exciting. But to me, it feels like it because it's moving on. It's getting in touch with your fire again. It's leaving this feeling of feeling like, you're not worthless, but you feel like life feels as if it's stayed and steady, and it feels poor. I don't mean financially poor. It just feels as if it's not stimulating you because you've got the Fool card here and these sort of financial cards that feel like you're rich. It doesn't have to be money. This has got something to do with you opening that door yourself. And this is probably the best powerful feeling that something exciting is going to unravel. So if you've got something in your mind, pile number 3, that has got anything to do with that business, moving abroad or buying a house or just generally sticking your neck out, and you'll know as I'm saying this, is there something that you really want that you feel a little bit shy to ask about? And this would be saying that the moment that you ask, it's like, why didn't I do that earlier? You may feel like something's out of your league here that you're too scared to ask for, but that door isn't going to open. And it feels like the last reading I did, it was like, feels like you're opening the door on a plane when it's really hot, you go into a hot country, and it's like, wow, because you've got in the air conditioning. This feels like you open the door, it doesn't have to be to a plane, and everybody's dancing, and you're, somewhere like, it looks like this. It looks as if people are enjoying themselves, and you almost kick yourself for not doing it earlier with these cards here, because there's a difference between these cards here. One's left out and thinking that this is life, I'm going to accept it, but you stick your neck out and then start being a bit cheeky, and you get into salsa party land. Because things, the Queen of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, things start moving through action. These are all fire signs, and this is you, and this is where you should be going to get there. And it's like it feels like you can't even perceive where you could be unless you start making that move. And a lot of this pile falls back on you, I think, in this one here. This communication, I wasn't sure was going to be a letter or information or something that comes to you. But to me, the way that these cards go from feeling left out to fire is like you've got to do that to make this movement into this. You are the Fool card. You're the one that does it anyway, regardless of the outcome. And there's a strong, this is a nice part, there's a strong feeling here with these cards here that whatever situation you feel that you're not ready to make, that you really should be making, leads to more financial stability. If you are going to buy a house or a flat, it's that feeling that the one that you buy is actually the one for you, or the one that you move to next is the one that makes you feel good. Nice, okay. I'm going to leave that there, pile number 3. So the door opening to you soon has got something, you've got to open it. It isn't going to open on its own. You've got to push something to the limit. If that's not your personality, try and see if it works. If you find that type of thing easy, I would think the next 6 months are going to really flow for you. And you're going to get further than you could probably, you probably would have been able to think that you could get. Not really good English, but you'll get somewhere where it would just feel like I couldn't have wished for more. Right, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. If you'd like a private reading, please check out my website, which is huluppu.co.uk. Thank you, bye.